Next is another very important government scheme, what is called as Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. So we know the meaning of Bima Yojana, that is insurance scheme. Now another one more word is there, that is Fasal. It's again a Hindi word. Fasal means crop. So this scheme is crop insurance scheme. Okay, so the scheme is a crop insurance scheme. So we know that India is still a country depending on agriculture, because half of the population is depending on agriculture, and most of the rural or farmer distress in India is mainly due to this crop failure or yield losses, mainly because of this impact of or the vagaries of climate change. So in order to protect the farmer from these difficulties, mainly due to this crop failures or yield losses, the government have introduced this crop insurance scheme in April 2016, named by Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Now try to understand that. So before this scheme, there were an earlier schemes, okay, which were not that much effective, but comparatively to earlier crop insurance scheme, this scheme is much more effective for the beneficial for the farmer. Okay, so just have an idea. We have an earlier insurance scheme, okay, what is called as National Agriculture Insurance Scheme, which we started implementing from 1999, and because of its implementational problem, because of its lack of effectiveness, it was amended or modified, that is in 2011. But this modified National Agriculture Insurance Scheme had a very big problem, that the premium amount the farmer have to pay, was capped at a very high rate. So in the modified National Agricultural Scheme, the premium was capped at 8 to 12% of the sum insured, mainly to limit the government subsidy outgo. So what is the problem with the earlier agricultural insurance schemes? The premium was very high, that was coming around 8 to 12%, and that too so because of this high premium, most of the farmers did not join this scheme. But here lies the significance of this Fasal Bima Yojana. Fasal Bima Yojana, the premium is comparatively very low. Okay, we will discuss what is the premium under the Fasal Bima Yojana and try to understand that. In 2016, there was a prelims question as well as a mains question from this scheme. So it's a very, very important scheme for you. So this scheme was launched in April 2016, mainly to compensate farmer if there is any loss in crop yield. So if there is any crop losses, any losses in the crop yield, or if there is a crop failure, the insurance scheme will compensate the farmer. So how to calculate the crop loss? There is a formula is there. By looking into the farmer will be paid depending upon a formula what is called as, first a threshold yield will be calculated, and we'll see what is the actual yield of this present year, and the difference between the threshold yield and actual yield will be compensated to the farmer through this insurance scheme. Now how to calculate this threshold yield? So the threshold yield is calculated by taking into consideration the last 7 years average. So that's very important. Okay, the threshold yield is calculated based on the average yield for the last 7 years. The threshold yield is the average yield for the last 7 years. Okay, and so by knowing the threshold yield and deducting from the actual yield, you will get to know the compensation to be paid to the farmer. And the extent of compensation is set according to each notified crop will be having a different degree of risk, and the compensation will be set according to the degree of risk for the notified crop. Okay, so the difference will be paid based on the difference between the threshold yield and the actual yield. Threshold yield is calculated based on the average yield for the last 7 years. That's very important information you need to note down. Now, try to understand that all the farmers who are availing institutional loan means loan taken from the banks and financial institution, should compulsorily, this is very important, how to register under the scheme. So, this scheme is compulsory for farmers who have availed any institutional loan. Okay, so that's a very important point to be noted down. Now, try to understand that this insurance scheme, this crop insurance scheme, insures farmer from a wide range of external risk like that of drought, dry spells, floods, inundation, pests and diseases, landslides, natural fire and lightning, hailstorms, cyclones, typhoons, tempest, hurricanes and tornadoes. So almost all the external risk associated with climate change which have an impact over crop failure is included under this insurance scheme. Not only that, the scheme also covers post-harvest losses. So even the post-harvest losses up to the period of 14 days for all these external risk is covered under this scheme. That's another advantage of this scheme. It also covers post-harvest losses up to 14 days. Now try to understand that in the earlier modified National Agricultural Scheme, there used to be a premium cap, that the premium the farmer have to pay have been capped by 8 to 12% of the sum insured. But in Fasal Bima Yojana there is no cap like that. Okay, there is no cap on premium. And try to understand that the sum insured per hectare for a farmer is decided, the sum insured per hectare is decided by a district level technical committee, and the very interesting thing is that this district level technical committee will predict, means it will all before the the cropping season itself, okay, it will pre-declare it what will be the sum insured per hectare, and it will be notified by the state level coordination committee on crop insurance. That's a very big advantage, okay. So a district level technical committee will pre-declare the sum insured per hectare for that notified crop. So that's very important thing, okay. Now try to understand that compared to the earlier scheme, the farmer have to pay very less premium. For example, for kharif crop, all the kharif crop which is notified under this scheme, the premium the farmer have to pay is just 2% of the sum insured, okay. So 2% for kharif crops, all the kharif crops. The premium is 1.5% for the rabi crops, all the rabi crops, okay. So for kharif crop and rabi crops, premium is different, because since kharif crop is having high risk, for kharif crop the premium is 2% and for rabi crops it is 1.5% premium for the sum insured, okay. And for horticulture and commercial crops, the premium is 5%. So there is a difference is there. Kharif crop 2%, rabi crop 1.5%, and for commercial and horticultural crops it is 5% of the sum insured. And the remaining premium will be paid by the government, mainly by the central government. So these are the important features of Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, and we will try to solve this question, 2016 prelims question. Two statement question. Well, under the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, farmers will have to pay a uniform premium of 2% for any crop they cultivate in any season of the year. That's a wrong thing. So 2% is only for kharif crop, and for that for rabi crop it is 1.5%, and for commercial and horticultural crop it is 5%. So there is no uniform premium. So first statement is wrong. This scheme covers post-harvest losses arising out of cyclones and unseasonal rains. Yes, we already discussed. So one of the specialty of this scheme, crop insurance scheme, that it also covers post harvest losses up to 14 days. So the answer comes as B, 2 only. So that's regarding Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana.